So basically, my home aim is to cross boundaries, and it's so my dad, he's also an architect.
All right.
So it's basically a 35-year-old firm,
All right.
and I joined in before 10 years. So to start off with me, I did my bachelor's from a city like Baroda city, the same city, and there's a place called Wasat. So I did my bachelor's from here. After completing my 5-year bachelor's in architecture, I went for my master's. That was in Barcelona, Spain. So I did my master's in advanced and digital architecture. Well, after doing my master's, I was searching for a job in Europe, but unfortunately, I didn't get any job because there was recession going on here. Like, so it's very difficult for someone to get a job because even their own nationality was facing the difficulty to find a job.
Yes.
So yeah. So after that, I came back. I started applying for jobs, and then I was working in China in Beijing with NAD Mad Architects. So they are very young folk and doing a lot of huge work. So something in the lines of Zaha.
All right.
Zahaji.
Okay.
So I was working there, doing my internship because I got an internship over there. It was not a job; it was an internship, but I wanted to work there. So I was the second Indian working with them. And after that, I again came back completing my internship because being a vegetarian, it was very difficult to survive in China.
Yes.
It was a bit difficult for me to survive in China. So I came back. I started applying again for jobs. After that, I was working in Dubai with RSP Architects. Uh, so over there, it was quite corporate type of designing, whereas in MAD, it was mad. It was crazy.
Okay,
They were
very good.
got to build crazy structures. So that was something which I explored both the parts of design. So it was not like just going into the corporate world. And later on, I thought I'll just come back and start off my own practice. So that's how I started off with the cross boundaries. And then after, I started doing small projects for friends, family. And later on, well, we started getting good, inquiries, good projects. And yeah, that's pretty much about me.
And so the type of project, what was a typical project, or is there a typical project?
There's an Olympic city. So it's quite near to here. So there we are working on how to conserve the nature. So everything that you see over there, it's retaining the plants, retaining the trees which are already existing,
Okay.
and we are building around it.
Right.
And we are not breaking any structure. So they're like 100-year-old pharmaceutical factories, which have been converted into restaurants,
Right.
cafes. So that's something which is quite interesting in the city, which I would definitely recommend to visit. And of course, there's a palace.
Yeah, because I've seen the pictures of the palace.
So
I see people.
that's Asia. That's Asia's largest residence. Yeah, but the palace is Asia's largest residence, which is there. It's a huge palace. Baroda as a city, it's white heritage. It has the culture and heritage, which is conserved in some parts of it, but the new city is totally different.
Right. So Hyderabad is a kind of tech, pharma kind of city. How would you describe, what sort of industries are here?
So, Baroda has a lot of pharmaceutical industries.
Right. Okay.
They have a lot of such industry which are set in the outskirts.
Right.
And apart from that, apart from the industrial thing, Baroda has a lot of, I would say, it's a knowledge city. That's how they call it, because there's MS University. So it will be the full form of MS University is Maharaja Sayaji Rao University. That's named after the king of the city. So basically, that's a very old university which is there. So Baroda is known for its culture, knowledge, heritage. So yeah, that's pretty
So
much.
from an architect's point of view, this is a good place to be because there's such a wide variety of.
It's a nice, peaceful city.
Right.
The traffic is still less, but slowly it's
You've
increasing.
noticed the traffic is less chaotic than anywhere else we've been.
Yeah, you can get around here.
Yeah.
Compared to Mumbai, you can't travel.
Yeah, Mumbai is very difficult to
Yeah.
travel. Yeah.
So have you worked with these guys before from an audio point of view, with consultancies
Yeah.
also based here?
So we have worked with German, we have worked with them on couple of residential projects. I think couple of cafes as well.
So at what point are you engaging these guys into the job, or as a client in engaging yourselves and then audio consultants? How does that work?
So it goes both ways. So basically, say when we are designing, say a cafe, if we are designing a nice cafe, so most of the surfaces that we see are quite reflective and hard. So it's either a micro concrete surface, or the walls are also plastered and it's naked slabs. So at that point, and they'll have music as a cafe. So at that point, we'll always advise the client that he need to consult an acoustic consultant to work around the space, because that's very important for us to while the cafe is working, it should not be too noisy. So we definitely so basically the involvement of the consultant is during the design stage, and we incorporate the overall spaces in the design as per the drawings given by them, or like the placements given by them. So yeah, it's during design stage that we would like to involve, because afterwards it's like a retrofit, and that becomes very difficult.
Yeah, cabling and breaking into solid walls and
That's the task. So it's so learn the hard way, but yeah, taught him.
so would you be making decisions on the type of, if it's let's say it's loudspeakers, so you'll be a loudspeaker brand, so let's talk about loudspeakers. Obviously there's a lot of different options. You can, in wall, on wall, you can statement speakers, you could even have floor standers. There's lots of different options. Who would be making those decisions? Would that be big? Would that be you? Would it be the interior people?
So generally, I come in picture during the aesthetic part of it.
Okay.
But we always ask the client to visit the store, experience the audio,
Right.
and decide on the type of speakers. And after that, we come into picture that how do we place it aesthetically, along with the guidelines which are provided by them. That's when we come into picture. Yeah.
And as part of that, you're looking at materials. So from again, just from an audio perspective, as you know, the harder materials makes it much more difficult to create the good audio. So you have to consider that at an early stage as well. Otherwise, it's a compromise afterwards.
Absolutely. So, one is the amount of soft materials that we could use, because that we have to consider at a earlier stage, rather than doing it at a later stage, because that's very important for us to consider it in the aesthetic part of it. Because after that, as I told, it's a retrofit, and it even spoils the design, and it becomes very difficult and tricky for people to execute it. So, yeah.
And from a trends point of view, what are you seeing at the moment in India, and inspired by worldwide or inspired locally? What are you seeing?
In regards to acoustics.
No, just generally, actually.
So, so I'm also into lighting design and installations. So at times what happens is my design style now, we have been having different shifts and different types of design styles, but what I generally practice is quite minimal design style. So I would like, if it's a cafe or if it's a residence, I would always go monochromatic. The ceiling, the wall, the floor, it can be like one single surface running through, wrapping around the space, and then there can be a nice pop element. Whether it's I would say, if we talk about sound, so if it's a double light space in a residence. So recently I visited a company named Galusa in Spain. So they had like a nice acoustic material which was just laying there in the carton. It was like, can you ship this around, because we would like to use it as a chandelier. We are facing issues in a double light space in a residence, that how do we control the acoustic part of it, and why can't it be a chandelier? Like, we can just use those waste materials, and we can design a chandelier around it.
For absorbing the
Yeah, so that becomes like a centerpiece, and everything else is very monochromatic, simple. So, in regards to trends in India, a lot of things going around. It's not like a particular trend, I would say, but it depends what the client wants, and that's how the client diverts into the type of architect he wants to work with. So, even we as architects, we don't have a very systematic design style. I would also like to explore different field of design, like whether it's like a New York and loft apartment that we recently did versus like a bohemian style design. So we keep shifting our parallels in different designs. So we also keep learning.
Our ranges here, we're known um, as being a brand with a lot of flexibility regarding colors. So we started with 8 standard stock. We've added a lot of metallics. We're probably up to 16 to 18 stock colors.
Bring new colors, and we forget to take an old one off. So we just more.
It's very difficult to kill a color once it's out there in the world. We also have a custom color service, so we can literally color match anything. So we will match fabrics from curtains. We'll we'll match the color of someone's Lamborghini. We'll do Pantone colors, RAL colors. We'll do literally just about anything. So the idea being that our speakers, for people who want them to pop, that's great. There's other people who want them to match, oak beams or the curtains or the wall. So we have all the options. We find that there are some markets, the UK market, for example, we can have 18 colors, but people tend still to buy black or white, right? There's other, I would say India is a little bit more kind of extravagant with its colors. We do a lot of metallics. Our brass metallics. Chrome in this particular place. We see a broader range of colors being used in India than we do in most markets, which is great. We like to see that. But I guess at the end of the day, that's all down to personal style, not necessarily the architect specifying a color, I guess.
So at times we do. At
Yeah.
times we skip it because if any lot of brands, I'm glad that you guys have so many color options, but a lot of brands they don't have so many options. It's like limited, like 8 palettes. You pick one.
Yeah.
Then we either pick black or white. I just do it.
and you pick something else in the room per color. You can.
Absolutely. But yeah, color plays a huge role when it comes to interiors. It depends on the type of space you want to create, right? Whether you want to make it a bit low or you want it more open.
Yes.
So, and since you have so many options of colors, we can also play with the gradients in the space and then
Yes.
pop color.
Yes.
So that's really important to have colors.
Yes.
And that's a nice thing that you have so many varied range of colors that even the type of speakers, if I would say in a room there are like 4 speakers, when that can be in a gradient format, depends on the space. So it's not required that AP speaker has to be one single color too.
Yes.
It can be different.
Yes. This even the room we're in at the moment
Yeah.
it has a monochrome kind of style from the this is not something that normally happens where we have our black subwoofer over there, which black subwoofer, grey grill, which is one of our grills. We have black speakers, we have white speakers, we have our light grey over there. So this is a kind of monochrome look that we don't actually, it's not exactly rewriting the rules of decor,
No.
but it's quite nice to see this kind of monochrome look. It's kind of subtly imaginative.
Yeah.
We just
On the backdrop with the brick.
with the brick and the natural materials like the wood, and it's looking really good.
And your clients, so we were chatting earlier, the level of input that your clients have. So you have residential and you have commercial. Do you see a big scale in how much the clients want to have an input in what you're doing? And some people will leave you to it, and some people will want to micromanage. How does that work?
So we have range of clients. Yes, some of them will get involved in every single thing. I mean, there's no specific client tool. Some of the clients will get involved in the wiring part of it, and some of them will just give it up to us. Like we just want the sound to be perfect in the room. The rest is upon you that you design the space accordingly. And so yeah, that's
And that applies to the general design of the building as well. Also the scale.
yeah, absolutely. So
What's your preference? You want to have the carte blanche yourself to just complete start to finish project.
So we would always, whenever we start a project, whether it's architecture or interiors, what we do is we ask the client that the first two meetings are for you. We'll be sitting on the other side. You need to explain us through magazines, through nowadays it's Pinterest.
Interest.
But the first two meetings are for you. If you need that one more meeting, the three meetings will be for you. But after that, it will be us. So just explain us whatever you want to explain us in the first three meetings, because the ideas are going to pop in. Every day you'll be seeing a new image on Pinterest, but you need to put a full stop.
Stop. A brain dump and then stop.
Yeah. And after that, that's when our design process starts. Once we know what he wants, what they want through the reference booklet which they prepare. And so the first 2 or 3 meetings are for them, and after that we start designing, and then we take over the front row.
Yes. It's we've been discussing this, and we were discussing it with an interior design company in Mumbai, where they used to have someone arrive with maybe with a bit of an idea how they wanted things to go from a color palette point of view or style, and they would kind of let them get on with it. Now, what happens now is Pinterest, they come in with a lot of ideas themselves. A lot of ideas, we would be told, AI has now made it even worse because you even have someone saying, I want this. This is the wallpaper I want. And he's saying, this wallpaper doesn't exist. It's AI generated. As you say, you're getting Pinterest. I think I get maybe a Pinterest email maybe twice or 3 times a day.
Oh,
Right. So if you're building something, designing something, you've got ideas. Yeah, your mind could be changed after a fortnight. You see something that you didn't know about 2 weeks ago. You're working on plan A, and I've now suddenly got a plan B because I prefer this.
yeah.
So that's how you. So there is a point where you have to hands off, guys. The project has got momentum now.
During that time, what happens is the design style shifts from a perspective which we thought in the first 3 meetings to a second way. So that's the reason now we always tell them, like, you have your own time.
Have your say.
The first 3 meetings, explain us whatever you want,
Yes.
but then let us take the front row. So
Yes.
you'll get what you want. That's
And
why
you get.
I had
Does that work? Do you get? I guess sometimes you may get some pushback.
not always. I try my best, but not always.
This is it. Because there's the intention. There's the client.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then the emotional part plays in that this is our house. So you
You work for us.
yeah. So
But I guess you're a younger architect, so this is just part of the game now for you. You know,
That's all you've known.
if you're an older architect, you're having to get used to this a little more.
I mean, if I'm an older architect, I don't know, but right now we're trying to put in some boundaries where we have to set the boundaries so so they don't cross the boundary. The firm is that we would like to cross the boundary in design, but then we don't want to cross the overall design style to a different perspective which we started off.
You know, you're pivoting all the time.
Yes, or else it would never. It's a never-ending process.
Yes.
And after a while, the clients are also comfortable with that. So
Right.
they respect the decisions.
Right.
We are able to convince them. Luckily. So,
Any projects that are particularly exciting for you at the moment? Anything that you're really enjoying?
yeah, so a couple of them. So recently, as I told, we are doing a resort project in the uphills, like in up north, in the Himalayas. So there's a place called Manali. So we're doing a resort up there. So that's something which I've been looking up to because it's been like 3 years now. So we're doing the architecture and interiors. It's a 108 key resort project. So so there's a river going below it, like nice stream of river, and in the front there is like a national park surrounded by mountains, snow-clad mountains under Toronto. So that's something where we have experimented in a different way. As we were talking about colors, the exterior of the full resort is jet black. It's black.
Right.
Most of the resorts they are like white.
Yes. Yes.
Would have tornadoes. So here we are trying to incorporate the tone black in the exteriors around the greens. So it merges very well with the greens.
Right.
And that's one project that we have been looking forward to complete.
Is that a brand new build, or is it renovating an existing property?
From scratch.
Yeah, it's from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's 75-degree slope. So we're doing it in like parts. It's dude. So that was a difficult project as well as very exciting project.
I suppose because it's a larger project with different zones and different areas, you're allowed to have a bit more fun because there's not somebody trying to steer it every direction.
Yeah, so basically, there are a lot of banquet halls, and there's a reception area, there's a cafe, there's the amenities, the swimming pool area, the lake. So a lot of spaces, a meditation zone, a spa area. So it's fun to design, but it's also difficult to work on the contours because it's very difficult to understand. Because uphill, you don't know what will come out while you are digging in it. So there's a rock coming right in the center, which you can't break it. So then we have to design it accordingly. So that was a complex structure design, but it's fun.
You're just waiting for a phone call to say we have a problem that you need to design around it.
So how far into the project are you now? The broken ground or?
So we are almost there. We have started off with the interiors now.
Okay.
And I think within 6 months we'll be there. Almost there now.
And from an audio point of view, is this audio as a consideration for this project as well?
For the banquets, yes,
Yeah.
we are considering audio for the banquet areas. Because the rest of the spaces we're just leaving it because budget plays a major role. Yes, after the favorites. That's also something which we are controlling. But yeah, in the banquet halls, we are considering audio.
So from an audio perspective, what are you seeing Indian trends and both residential and commercial? What kind of trends are you seeing in the audio market over your few years of doing this?
So I think one part which Indian market is missing a big time is acoustics, because that's something which is the next big move in India. That's what I feel with the rising traffic. Like my own office before 5 years, when I was sitting in the conference room, I could actually communicate easily with a nice peace of mind, less noise. But now with the increasing traffic and the honking problem in India, acoustics I think will play a huge role, because not only in the interior space but even at the exteriors, like how we can thermal insulate a building, or how we can control the outside noise to enter. There are windows, but again the windows are reflective, so it's not something which is absorbing the noise, but it's just controlling the noise.
Yes, and that affects everything. It affects your experience watching television or home theatre. Everything is affected by this increasing noise outside.
And they also have a lot of noise inside, a lot of hard surfaces as far as the flooring.
Flooring, walls, ceilings.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are having exposed heating as well.
Yes.
So I think the next big move in India will definitely be working on the acoustics of a constructed building rather than a completed house. So even acoustics will play a major role for architecture. That's what I feel, because as you rightly told before, like in Mumbai, the amount of traffic is crazy, and the high rises are just going higher and higher.
Getting
The-
further away from it.
Yeah, but the honking, it's not going back, so it's still increasing more. So that's something where acoustics will play a huge role, and so that is one part of sound which I think needs to be taken.
It needs to be addressed. You
Absolutely.
find it as a challenge now.
It's
Yeah.
a huge challenge. That's something which I feel is a challenge, and I don't know how we solve it, but yeah, eventually we have to.
Yeah.